I was able to go from a skinny ectomorph to building an aesthetic body. In this video, I'm going to speak to you about how long it took me and how you're going to do it faster. So let's look at it like this. If we were to create the 2.0 version of you, the new character version of you, how would you describe and how would you build him? At no point would you build him with fucking zero muscle on him. Like, if you looked at my chest from the thumbnail photo you can see here, like, you would not build him like this. Walking around the earth like this does not make you feel like a confident, masculine man. I appreciate how you feel. I've been there, I've done it, and I know what it really spreads into all areas of life. I have a saying, and it's how you do one thing is how you will do everything in life. So if you feel a little bit inferior, a little bit weaker, that aura, that energy, although if you look at the body, it's not horrendous, but if you look at the body, the aura is what's going to spread into other aspects of your life. You'll be a little bit less confident around other men. And those people, actually, if you were 10% more confident, they could have helped you. They would have kept you in the friendship circle and they would have helped you get to another level. But because you're just a little bit more confident, they disregarded you and you moved off. What about the quality of woman? And let's be honest, if you want the best quality woman, she also wants the best quality man. And ideally, as harsh as it is to say, she wants someone that's in great shape. Because literally she's going to look at you and think, what sort of children are we going to breed together? And if she looks at the way you are now, she's going to think, well, we're only going to breed fucking Mo Farah marathon runners. And that's probably not really what she thinks when it comes to protection and strength. That's why she would rather you be jacked. This will also spread over into your career and your certainty to get things done. When you move around this earth jacked and you are strong, everything you do comes from a jacked and strong mindset. So although, like, the physique in face value kind of is the issue, it's more what that does to the person and then how the person acts. That's why I make videos like this, because I've been there. I've been the person lacking in certainty, lacking in clarity, lacking in direction. And as soon as I changed my body, everything else moved with it. And then we were able to speak with certainty and help so many people, of which we have done within the Gorilla Platoon. There'll be links in the description if you want to look to join us and change your life. Now, the very first point I will say, and I will make a disclaimer on this, if you don't look like my starting photo that you saw in the thumbnail, which is basically like a toothpick, but at least I was lean, then what we may need to do for you first, and this is for the skinny fat lads amongst you. Now, listen, you're skinny fat, it is what it is. It's fixable, all right? Don't think, oh, I'm skinny and I'm fat, we're in a poor position. It's fixable. I've done videos on this channel where we've literally recomp people and managed to be able to fix them, so go ahead and watch those videos after. But what you may need to do is you may need to get lean. Well, I say may. No. I will speak with absolute certainty. If you are above, and I will say this as a blanket line for you, if you're above 15% body fat, you need to cut first. Do not even think about bulking and adding tissue. You must cut first. Now, to do this, you are simply going to find out your maintenance calories, use a calorie calculator online, drop 200 calories below that, sit at that maintenance, just below maintenance, and you're going to train and you're going to do your cardio 20 minutes per day, heart rate 120 to 130, and you're going to peel off the kilograms until you can see visible, clean-cut abs. Now, you'll already look a lot better because you've got rid of the fat. You're not skinny fat anymore. You're just still a bit smaller. But in this period of training, you are also going to develop your gym floor performance, and we'll come on to that in a second. So if you're not like ectomorph and lean yet, get lean first. This is why if you start to bulk from the position you're at now, you will get softer and softer and softer because your body is used to taking on more calories and storing it as adipose tissue. Your body is not effective at using carbs, at using insulin in order to drive gym floor performance. It is used to taking it in and storing it as body fat because that's the result you've got right now from what you've done so far. So trust me when I say cut the fat, go into a deficit, get rid of the body fat first, bite the bullet, get the six-pack, then we build from there. Now, in my case, from starting where I have done 4 to 5 bulks. Now, I, however, made mistakes in the beginning, which you're not going to make because I'm going to give you the right stuff to do in this video first. So, your first gaining phase, you are going to actually be a bit more aggressive with food than you will do in your later gaining phases because your metabolism, ideally if you look like me or you've got like me, is so high and through the roof that everything you eat, you just burn straight through it. So you're going to sit yourself in a fairly good deficit of around 300 calories. Now, remember, why are we in a surplus? We are in a surplus is because food drives performance in the gym. The surplus alone will not build you muscle. The surplus alone supports gym floor performance, which builds your muscle. So we must get you training correctly. What I'm about to tell you now applies to a cut, a bulk, your first cut, your last cut, your first bulk, your last cut, whatever. It applies to all. You are going to select a training split which trains your upper body movements twice per week, and you are able to hit best part of 15 to 20 sets per muscle. In the beginning, do not worry about a tailored split. Simply do this split. Push, pull, legs. Rest day. Chest and back, delts and arms. Why are you going to do this split? Well, because right now, and I've been there, we are pebbles. We look like pebbles. There is no point us trying to sculpt specific muscles at this point, because we're just pebbles, right? We need to turn ourselves into boulders, and the way you do this is hit the main upper body muscles twice per week. Frequency is needed. You hit it with a good amount of volume, but enough that you can recover from. Now, when you've got your program together, and again, I've done videos, just looking on this channel, search Tom Sergey, like workout routine programs. There's a load of them that will come up, and you'll be able to select the right one that's for you. When you're on the gym floor, this is the critical piece of information. You will make sure you lift the weights with these three metrics. The first one is the speed of your repetition. Lift the load slowly on the way down, then stop still at the bottom, then drive back up. Do not rush through the lowering phase of the movement, because that is the point where you are going to get a lot of damage to the muscle through eccentric loading. You are also stronger in the eccentric. So an exercise like a flat dumbbell press, you are going to be stronger than that versus a flat machine press where it's harder as you press away, because you get weaker as you push the load back up to the top. But with a dumbbell, the load, because your joints now stack on top of each other, the load is there, less resistance towards the top. So lift slowly, because lifting slowly allows you to lift with intent. It allows you to actively stretch and shorten the muscle. Now, the reason I make this point, if you looked at my chest in the beginning, literally as flat as a pancake, the reason I make this point is, if you don't lift slowly, and if you don't think about stretching and shortening the working muscle, you won't feel the working muscle. Your shoulders will take over because your working muscle is so weak. Other areas will step in to globally press the load from A to B. You're not moving loads from A to B. You are stretching and shortening the working muscle. So that kind of leads me on to the second point. Think of the arm path that's needed for that movement. If it's training your chest, you are going to think of, right, well, the chest starts here by the sternum, runs across the rib cage, inserts onto the upper arm. So you're going to think about driving your bicep towards your pec. You're not going to think about pressing the load up and down. If you're training your back, you're thinking about dragging your elbow towards your hip, because the lat starts by the hip, inserts onto the back of the upper arm. Think like that when you train. Don't move loads from A to B, stretch and shorten the working muscle. Think, where does the muscle start and where does it end? Then, train with a full range of motion. This means you come all the way down. Do not do half reps, come all the way down. And then finally, you could say this is now 3 points and a side one, you're going to train with hard intensity. However, in your first bulking phase, even if you train with 1 to 2 reps in reserve, you're going to see good gains, and you're going to see progress most importantly. Because you're quite new to this, you'll be surprised how quick you respond to the stimulus. So meaning every time you step on the gym floor, you'll find numbers are going up, or reps at least are going up, and then numbers are going up, i.e. load on the disc. And with this, just continue to push that through. Now, after you've trained for a good 6 months, a year, you'll find that progress slows down. So then at this point, this is where you get very, very meticulous. You will grind session after session, and you will make sure you get an extra rep. You get an extra rep, you're growing. You get a little bit more load on the bar, you're growing. So what do you need to do here? You need to be very rigid in the way you track your gym floor performance. Can't stress this enough. Track your gym floor performance. So let's now fast forward. You have done your first successful bulk. During that bulking phase, there would have been periods where your numbers start to slow a bit, and also the scale weight started to slow down. So because the scale weight started to slow down, because again, you're going to weigh yourself daily. We're not married to the scale. It's just a data point. When you see that number not increase for 2 weeks, and you see your numbers in the gym not really increase, you add another 200 calories, 50 grams of carbohydrates. Try to be smart about this. Instead of adding more potatoes, add rice. It'll digest quicker. Instead of having fruits like apples and berries, add bananas in there. Instead of having things like Oats, look to have breads, things that are going to be higher on the GI scale that will digest quicker, therefore making it easy to get food in. I remember in the early stages, getting food in was an issue, but I was trying to do it with like oats and potatoes, sweet potato. No wonder. That food is very fibrous. That food is very good if we're dieting down, not if we're in a gaining phase. So that is going to be your first full bulk. Now, you may have got from like lean, six-pack abs, to the point of being around about 17, 16% body fat, looking a little bit softer, to the point where I said if you were that at the beginning, you will cut back down. Now what you're going to do is more of a clean up than a full-on cut. Why? Because we need more muscle. 1 year of bulking is not really going to have cut the mustard. However, 1 year of bulking as a brand new beginner, allow me just to show you what that's going to look and feel like for you. Because this should inspire a lot of you. This is a Gorilla Platoon member that we've had on. He's been with us now for 9 months. Look at the sheer difference in a brand new beginner who trains at home with rings. By the way, he's now eating 4,000 calories. Look at the sheer difference in just a year span of time. This is what we do for guys that come to us for the Gorilla Platoon, because it is your birthright to have an aesthetic body. So this is what we're here to do. And that is someone that has just started out, a brand spanking new Ectomorph to training. And that's the difference we've got already. So if you want to come and join us, there will be a link in the description. Click the link, watch the opening video, see if we're for you, and then come and join us on the inside. Now, you have finished your first bulk. Now we're going to clean up. So we're going to go into a slight deficit. We're going to look to pull off body fat, dropping around about 1 kilogram of body fat per week, till the point where you can see visible abs, not crispy abs. There is a difference. The results you see on our page, we push for crispy abs, 10% body fat. You could get to 13 or 12 and that'll be okay. Reset the bar. Now you're going to go into your second season of bulking. Now, because we've cleaned up, we brought food down again. What you may have done is also push cardio up. 20 minutes per day, increase that, 30 minutes per day, increase that, 40 minutes per day to see the kilogram drop off. This is also something you would have done if you were skinny fat, because remember I say, if you've watched this video or this channel for any length of time, keep food high, but push your output high. Be the athlete. The athlete is what we want. We don't want to be just hungry. Our metabolism, essentially, if you've ever tried this, will run out of steam. You'll be on such low food, not dropping, you've got nowhere to go. Output is the means and ways you get around that. So, at this point, you've done your first successful bulk, you're 1 season in, you've added a good amount of density, and realistically, you've probably added around about 3 or 4 kilos of muscle, which is more than doable, especially in your first year. At this point, we're now going to be a little bit smarter. We're now going to be very data-driven in this next season. The reason being is, the bar of the newbie gains is now gone. We now have to force the muscle to grow. We have to be very tactful in the way we do this. So, in this next season, what we will do is we will only increase food very, very tactfully. We will only increase food when numbers have not increased for 2 weeks in the gym. At that point, add some more food. Now, a rate of gain in this next phase, you're going to take a lot more serious. Anywhere from 0.3 to 0.5 per week is the sweet spot of rate of gain. This will depend on the size of you overall, of course. The bigger guys towards the upper tier, smaller guys towards the lower tier. Now, at this point, you're going to be tactful in the way you increase food, and you are going to track your gym floor performance very, very meticulously. You're going to make sure, right, did I get the extra rep? If not, why not? Ideally, yes, and across most movements, you're going to be getting the extra rep. And this next season of the gaining phase, this is going to be your main focus. Training with raw intensity, because in the last gaining phase, you nailed your execution, you nailed your tempo, you nailed your range of motion, and you nailed your arm path to hit the working muscle. Now you've got that foundation. Now you add raw intensity. You're adding in drop sets where needed. You're adding in rest pauses. These work especially well for the isolation muscle. A rest pause is where you hit the upper tier of what you're capable of. You rest for 20 seconds. You go straight back in and you continue. And you're going to go through your next gaining phase. And what you're going to do is pick up on any mistakes you made last time and you're going to rectify them. This normally comes from gym floor performance and poor overeating and consuming dirty, greasy, oily foods. Now, we want longevity in the gaining phase. What will hinder that is you going out and you drinking a lot of alcohol, you consuming heavily processed foods. And the reason is, when you need to get back to your surplus on Monday morning, that is going to be so unappealing to eat all of that clean food because you've been eating high processed, high dopamine style food. Your appetite and your GI levels are going to be a bit fucked. So this is why I will tell you, live like the athlete. Live like you're a man on a mission. And those off-plan meals that you have once per week with friends, sushi, Nando's, like good quality chicken, foods you would have normally eaten anyway, but clean cut, meats, eggs, real food is where I'm going with this. Now, you're going to then increase that next gaining phase where you're going to look to, and each gaining phase, depending on the size of you, you're going to try and push anywhere from about 12 to 15 kilos of gained. Obviously, not all of that will be muscle, of course. Some of it will be body fat. So in my own experience, I've done 4 bulking and cutting phases, each stacking more knowledge, one on top of the other. And then you're going to cut back down again, and I believe you'll need one more gaining phase to add the 10 kilograms of muscle I was able to. It took me 5 years, because the first 2 years, honestly, I was too arrogant to understand that what I was doing was not as effective as possible. I wasn't really eating the right foods, I wasn't training with the correct tempo, range of motion, and I wasn't understanding the way the mechanics of movements worked. It wasn't until I really, after the first bulk, and then I did a full-on cut to get photo shoot shredded in Dubai, and I was working for a personal training company at the time that taught me everything I needed to know. It's only then I really understood how to train, how to actually execute movements, and then nutrition. And then since then, I've done 1, 2, 3 bulks now, and now the physique is starting to look the way it is. So 5 years on, I've been able to add 10 kilograms of muscle. I've done 4 bulks in that time. I believe if you strike properly, you'll be able to do it in 3. I'm then going to push on into another bulk because, to be honest, the show never ends. Developing that aesthetic of a body never really ends. Now, for context as well, I stand at 173 centimeters, and now I'm obviously 79 kilograms as I take these photos and send them out to you. Just for ratio, and you're thinking, like, how tall is this geezer? Because then that kind of determines how big this guy actually is. So that's where I'm at. Personal goals for me pushing forward will be shave a tiny bit more, I think, maybe body fat off, hold that look throughout the summer as it's now coming on the end of April, and then I'm going to be into a big gaining phase where, again, we'll be looking to go from 79, 78 space of where we're sitting now, pushing all the way up into the 90s, and then, again, cutting back down. It's the seasons of bulking and cutting. People try and give them a bad rap, but I want you to approach them in this way. Slowly increase food to drive gym floor performance. Gym floor performance is the most and the sacred point of gaining muscle. You do not gain muscle from your surplus, but the surplus supports you training harder in the gym. Last thing, do not miss on sleep. I am Team 9 Hours. The Gorilla Platoon members are Team 9 Hours, or they get shouted at in their check-ins. You want to be the same. You grow when you sleep. Do not skip on your sleep. If anything, try and push the sleep as much as humanly possible, because the quicker you grow and recover, the quicker you can get back to training and building. If you look at it like this, if you sit at homeostasis here, you break down the muscle, you go below homeostasis, the body then wants to recover and supercompensate so it can come above the homeostasis line, and then completely repeating that process. Now, if you come down to the point here and you don't let it recover, you don't come back to the homeostasis line, you'll then keep digging until you're at a point of detraining and you just feel toast and you feel garbage. Do not get to that point. So, it took me 5 years to do it. I believe you can do it in 3, given the better knowledge that is out there, especially if you watch this channel. If you want me to do this for you, there will be a link in the description. Click the link, watch the video, and see if you want to come and join us at the Gorilla Platoon. Thank you for watching, as always, brother. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you tomorrow.